So I am just about done with my third full year covering the Trump administration in my day job over for NBC News at the White House. And somehow, in some way, this year has arguably been the busiest one yet. And it's been one that's made history, from a fight to reopen the federal government to a moment nobody expected at the DMZ to the third ever impeachment of our country's president. That's just the stuff you haven't forgotten from 2019. So here's a look at what went down and what comes next. 2019 started with fireworks over the longest government shutdown in history. Are you still proud to own this shutdown?
I'm very proud of doing what I'm doing. I don't call it a shutdown.
After 35 days of fighting over funding for the border wall, a presidential retreat that reopened the federal government, and a State of the Union delayed but delivered.
It's called the State of the Union. It's in the Constitution.
A week later,
I just want to get it done faster, that's all.
A declaration of a national emergency at the border, infuriating Democrats and instantly setting off a court fight that continues even today. Overseas, a spring summit suddenly scrapped early, with President Trump leaving Vietnam and his meeting with North Korea's Kim Jong-un without a deal on denuclearization. That relationship repaired enough by the summer for a surprise visit to the DMZ, with Donald Trump stepping where no president has before.
It's a great honor to be here.
Back home, the investigation that loomed over the White House for 2 years coming to a close. Robert Mueller concluding Russia did interfere with the 2016 election, but the special counsel did not find sufficient evidence the Trump campaign coordinated or conspired with the Kremlin. In his 448-page report, Mueller describes instances in which the president could have obstructed justice without explicitly exonerating him.
It is not a witch hunt.
The president insistent.
We went through the greatest witch hunt in political history.
Airing his grievances as he kicked off his 2020 re-election campaign. But it was a different rally where this chant erupted. Send her back, after the president's racist tweet slamming the so-called squad, 4 freshman lawmakers, all women of color and U.S. citizens.
Again, I'm not going to negotiate up here.
The summer saw the West Wing's revolving door swing again, with Press Secretary Sarah Sanders stepping down and Stephanie Grisham stepping in August.
They've got a mass casualty. Looks like 9 or 10 shots.
2 devastating shootings stunned the country.
We are waking up again this morning to a pair of tragedies in America brought on by men with guns.
And sparked calls for changes to gun control laws. But despite the talk,
We have to have meaningful background checks.
little action.
If you look at background checks, it wouldn't have stopped any of the last few years worth of these mass shootings.
In the fall, foreign policy in focus as President Trump announced he was pulling U.S. troops from Syria.
I'm not going to get involved in a war between Turkey and Syria.
That same month, another announcement, one of the most significant in the Trump era. The president, in extraordinary detail, describing the death of the world's most wanted terrorist, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. We understand from multiple sources familiar with the matter that the president himself personally approved this operation.
He died like a dog. He died like a coward.
Later, on the South Lawn, a photo op with the hero K-9 who helped commandos in the raid. But by then, a shadow was hanging over the White House, impeachment, as Democrats accused the president of abusing his power by asking Ukraine for investigations that could help him politically into the Bidens and the 2016 election.
There was no crime. The danger persists. The risk is real.
The White House choosing not to cooperate with the House proceedings. And on December 18th, Donald Trump became only the 3rd ever impeached president of the United States.
With today's illegal, unconstitutional, and partisan impeachment,
His White House choosing to focus on several political wins, like an agreement on the first phase of a trade deal with China to ramp down the trade war that roiled markets this year, and the year-end passage of a funding bill that includes the Space Force the president wants and approval of the USMCA, a revised version of NAFTA. Still, impeachment looms over 2020 with a trial on the way and Donald Trump hoping to make history again by becoming the first impeached president ever reelected. 2019, quite the year. We will see what 2020 will hold. We'll be right back here with what our sources are saying as we bring you the show live from West Palm Beach, Florida, where I'm on assignment covering President Trump. He's over at Trump International Golf Course, not too far from where we are, as you take a look at the balmy marina waters here.